need some competition out here. Come on.
Our people.
If you're interested in promoting your brand, business, or talent on the first 15 to 30 seconds before each video, email me right now at advertise@hiphopun.com. That's advertise at hiphopun.com. We got some special rates right now. Do not wait.
Strain on some friendships and stuff like that. And money is not really worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they made sure we was okay. You know what I'm saying? They made sure he was okay.
Say no more. Now take us through. I know you met Jay-Z before you guys signed a deal. Take us through that whole time, because when Jay-Z announced that y'all was signing with Rocafella, it was like, oh, it's on and popping now, because they had already been kind of building that roster at that point. And I don't know if it was you in the interview, you said when you came to them, it wasn't the Rock, it was a Pebble at that point. So you kind of seen them from the right beginning. So take us through Rocafella all the way through the beginning and even the end of it, if you can.
Right. So it's the second MOP album where we're coming off of our very first label, which was Select. Thank God for Mr. Fred Mineo over there who gave us our first deal. Really appreciate that, man. But so we were leaving Select, and this was after the after the first album, going into the second album. And every day, Jay and Dame would come to the studio. Right. Every day as we was recording the second album. So there was no Rocafella. The office was the size of a small 1-bedroom apartment, right? It was Jay, Dame, and there was a young lady at the front desk. Their office was in the same building that Relativity was in. And so it was just them. They were still building. There was Beanie. The world hadn't heard about Beanie. We didn't know of a Memphis Bleak, a Mill, anybody that was on Rocafella. Nobody was there. It was just Jay and Dame. So that's why I said, when the Rock was a Pebble. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they hadn't even built up yet. So we didn't do the deal with them. Obviously, we went to Loud, and then we moved from Loud to Relativity, a few other spots. And as we're moving and growing, they're moving and growing. So when Rocafella, the dynasty as we know it, was in a huge position, is when we actually picked up the conversation that we started having when the Rock was a Pebble. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we got hooked up with Dame and Jay, and we decided to go ahead and do some business with them. Now I didn't know that they had some internal issues, which is not just me saying it. Obviously, the world knows that because they broke up. Right. So they had these internal issues, and it was like I couldn't see it because I didn't know anything about it. All I was there to do was do my business, so I couldn't see it. And then after a while, it was just like crystal clear that there was an issue there. So we never put the record out on Rocafella. Rocafella sort of not dissolved, but they had their little issues. They went their separate ways. And then I had a meeting with Dame, and Dame offered me like a room full of money, and I didn't take it. About less than a week later, I had a meeting with Jay. At this time, he's at Def Jam, so I go to Def Jam, have a meeting with him. He offered me a room and a half full of money, and I didn't take it. Because remember, I was there when the Rock was a Pebble. So I watched them build this entire dynasty, make each other rich, ridiculous money, put each other into these great positions. And then they not folded, but then they broke apart.
Yeah. Right.
So in my head, I'm going, and this is to both of them, how I'm looking at both of them without any disrespect. But I'm like, if you could have a problem with somebody that made you a multi-millionaire and put you in a position, if you could do, you could shit on him, What are you gonna do to me? You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't say anything about them because I don't know what their situation was, why they, why Rocafella fell apart. But it says something about me, and I needed both of them to understand that. Like, it's more about loyalty with me. And it's hard for me to sleep knowing that somebody I'm loyal to or thinking that somebody I'm loyal to is not loyal to me. So I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm cool. I don't want the room full of money. I don't want the room and a half full of money. I'm gonna stay over here, man. And I'm always, and I never have nothing bad to say about either of them. I'm always cool. I've always been cool with them, still cool with them. But I just can't. I don't want to do business with someone that, could potentially chop my legs off. I don't want to do it. It's not. I'm not cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Not at all.
Man, it's funny, man. It's kind of life comes full circle because I used to be associated with a brother by the name of DR. Period. Does that name ring a bell?
Of course,
yeah.
Of course.
Yes, sir. Used to be with Rock Boy Records, and used to hear some good stories about the brothers, Lil Fame, Billy Days over at MOP, man. And was hoping I had ever had the honor to, as an R&B singer and as a part of Rock Boy, talk to you and see you and kind of, rub elbows. But now I'm honored to be alongside my cousin on our podcast, having our conversation with you right now, man. So an honor, brother. Definitely appreciate you. And how's life been, man? Let's get us caught up on how Billy Danze is doing, brother.
Oh man, it's all great, man. I mean, when I reflect on my life as a whole, like from my humble beginnings in Brownsville, Brooklyn, to still be alive for one, and have had traveled the world 5 times and ridiculous amounts of success in this business, I'm doing well, bro. I'm doing great, brother. I'm humbled and I appreciate all the love that I get from people around the world, and you guys helping keep the name alive out there. You know what I'm saying? So definitely appreciate it.
No doubt. Yeah, definitely, man. I'm gonna go back because I always like to start from the beginning, but I can remember you guys were doing the show up in Brooklyn, and just the genuine people, the genuine feel of the people in Brooklyn, and the atmosphere was amazing, man. Just the realness. But I know when you came up, it was pretty rough. I'm not mistaken. You came from the Brownsville section of Brooklyn.
Yep.
How was it growing up out there, and how did that help mold you into being who you are today?
It was hell, right? You want the truth? There you go. Right. It was hell, bro. But I mean, it definitely molded me in a way different from a lot of other people in the industry. Because for me, this business was really a lifesaver. I was literally in the middle of doing in a criminal act. Let me just say it just like that, right? And Fame walked up on me and was like, "Yo, I asked you to do a record with me. You still gonna do it?" Yeah. Let me know when. Dude, like right now. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm busy. I'm trying to get something situated here. He like, yo, now. He like, yo, they're in the studio waiting for us right now. So I decided to go with Fame and not continue in that act that I was pretty much in the process of. And that's kind of how it all happened. We went to DR Period crib and created a record called How About Some Hardcore. Couldn't even finish the record because it was my very first time in the studio. So from one side of life, from one side of the fence right to the other instantly. By the grace of God, like I said, I went with Fame. I didn't do what I was intending to do at that moment. Thank God, because like a week later, I had a deal. And like I said, it was my very first time in the studio. So shout out to Fame for being the lifesaver. You know what I mean?
How'd you link up with Fame? How'd you link up with DR? Talk about that.
I don't know how I linked up with Fame. Like we've been tied together for so long. We can't say if we met in the store, at a park, at school, anything. And if you ask him this same question, he's gonna tell you the same answer. We really don't know. So it's been that long. DR lived around the corner from myself and Fame, because me and Fame lived on the same block. And on our way to school, every day you would hear this music blaring out of this crib. We don't know what's going on because we're kids. We're not even thinking about it, right? But DR been involved in music that long. He's always been serious about the music. And you know, I mean, I know him from the neighborhood, but I didn't understand how serious he was in the music. And then you also got to remember, at that time, it was much different from the kids today. Everybody think they can do it. And our day was like, there's no way we can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
There's no way we can do that. So our artists, our idols, our musical heroes, we didn't realize that, like, I didn't realize Big Daddy Kane was from right across town. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that. So that's how it was for us. So we never had no intentions on getting into the business. Whatever DR was doing at that time, he was DJing. He was actually an MC at one time. He was producing beats and all of that stuff. But we didn't. There was no way we were going to connect with him on that, as far as we could see. You know what I'm saying? So, and shout out to DR period too. Speaking of him as a producer and just an all-around person, like he's a great guy, like a good guy. But as a producer, I don't think there's many producers that could do what DR period does. He's not like, so producers have this thing where they go, my sound.
Mm-hmm.
This is my style. DR don't have a style or a sound. He can do it all. So that's what a producer should be. So shout out to DR period and the whole Rock Boy team, man. It's my guys.
No doubt. Now talk about some of the influences. I'm curious to know some of the people that you listen to coming up in the game. And also I know it's a debate, but some people say that hip hop started in the Bronx, but some people say it started in Brooklyn. Could you elaborate on that as well?
Well, I'm definitely not gonna elaborate on where hip hop started. Because as far as I know, all of this time we always said, you know, it started in the Bronx. And then years later we hear it started in Brooklyn.
Right.
I don't give a shit where it started. I'm just happy that it started, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm just happy about that. This thing of ours is very special, so I don't care where it started as long as it's continued to go. So you know, when it comes to this music, I was really influenced by talented people.
Gotcha.
We can give them a name, but there'll be such a list, it's ridiculous. So the people that came before my era of music were amazing. Just had this conversation about how now they have this. What's different now is so crazy because even though we had, you know, we was categorized, right? So we had like, let me ask y'all a question. Who are backpack rappers off top of your head? Who's the backpack rappers?
Talib, Mos Def,
Kid Cudi,
Gangstar,
Lupe Fiasco.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that backpack rap category, you all just named about 5-6 names, right?
Right.
None of them sound the same.
No.
None of them. Gangster rap, MOP, even if it was G Unit, whoever, right?
Right.
None of us sound the same.